Hello guys and happy Earth Day. I wanted to just make a quick video of a few swaps you can make if you are a first-time mom or a mom trying to be more eco-conscious for the first time. So one of the biggest ways I think you can make a swap in your life to be a little bit more earth friendly or ecosystem friendly is to switch to cloth diapers rather than disposables. It's pretty self-explanatory, but basically if you're using cloth diapers, you're not creating waste that goes to landfill like you would if you're using a diaper that you use once and then throw away. So I know things can be said about, like the water and electricity that cloth diapers use up, and there are actually ways to help with that as well, but I feel like this is definitely a good first step, is just switching from disposables to cloth diapers. Kind of going along with that, sticking with the same thing, are cloth wipes. And if you want to go a step further or you're just cheap like I am, one thing that cloth diapering moms recommend using are the receiving blankets that you get at the hospital. So these are actually the receiving blankets that they gave us in the hospital that we cut up, and the reason they're just white is because we sewed the good side to good side so that the bad sides were out, because I liked that better. So that's what we did. And obviously same thing, instead of a wipe that you use once and then throw away, these are wipes that you use again and again and again and wash, so less waste. Another thing you can do to just kind of eliminate plastic, like the consumption of plastic, is to switch from like plastic toys to wooden toys, metal toys, cloth toys, things like that. Another thing you can do if you're a breastfeeding mama or a pumping mama, you can, instead of using like the little plastic disposable milk storage bags, you can either use a repurposed jar, like a jam jar or something like that, or you can buy mini mason jars. They work really, really well for frozen breast milk storage. And kind of going along with that, just disposable things in general. When I was pregnant, people gave me a lot of things that like did not need to be disposable. Like I got a pack of disposable diaper changing pads, and I was like, when would I ever need to use this over a reusable diaper changing pad? Or even the liners that you can pull out, and the diaper changing things in a public restroom, sometimes they have like liners in the thing that you can pull out and you can line the thing with it. And I'm like, why would I use those? Like, why should I use a disposable version? Like, I mean, I get it if you forget that or something, then those are great, but like, if I'm either choosing to bring a disposable or a reusable one from my home, like, to me it just kind of makes obvious sense to just bring the reusable version. I don't know, maybe you guys can educate me on why someone may want to use a disposable one over the reusable one, but to me it just kind of seems like an all-around waste and a bigger hassle. And there are other disposable things that I received as well that I was like, when would I ever, like, why is this useful to me? And one of those things is disposable nursing pads. So I got some reusable nursing pads. I was gifted 4 from a friend that were pre-used, and I bought a pack of 7 pairs, so 14. So I had 9 pairs in total, and they didn't, honestly, a lot of times it was kind of a stretch to get to laundry day, but I would just kind of stretch the life of this rather than using disposable one all the time. So that's a pretty easy swap for you as well. Another thing is using glass bottles over plastic bottles. Again, this is still going to create the same amount of waste, but glass is much easier to recycle than plastic. I know that there's actually like some like discrepancies on that, like different types of plastic are harder or easier to recycle, but also plastic has a more finite lifespan than most other materials, meaning it can only be recycled a couple times over other things like metal or whatever that can be recycled infinitely pretty much. So, but also I think it's just better for baby's health that there aren't chemicals leaching from plastic and stuff like that. So we prefer the glass bottle. And the last easy swap is a menstrual cup. So obviously this is something that even if you're not a mom you can do, but also if you are a mom, although they do have disclaimers to not use these in pre or postpartum bleeding, but once you get your period back or just before you have a baby or whatever, if you're on your period, using this instead of using disposable pads or tampons. I also know that they make period underwear that are more of a replacement for pads, whereas this is more of a replacement for tampons. So that is another more sustainable swap you can make. And the last swap I have for you guys today is not as much, well, it's not as much a item swap as it is a where you purchase swap, and that's just to seek out as many used or pre-loved items rather than buying things new. This goes for clothes. I know lots of women who buy pre-loved cloth diapers, toys, just really anything you can get your hands on that's pre-loved. There's lots of ways to do this: eBay, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, your friends, even maternity clothes. I know maternity clothes get passed around quite often. Thrift stores often have things once upon a child, consignment shops like that. And those are obviously a more sustainable option than buying things new. Let me know if you guys have any other sustainable swaps or eco-friendly swaps for other moms. Let me know down in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one.